February 1839, a young German composer and music critic wrote these words to an even younger concert pianist of his acquaintance. "No girl, no angel from heaven could be dearer or truer to me than you are. Only you could love me with a love so inexpressibly noble. I have no words for you, only a glimpse into my dreams could convey my thoughts of you." The love of Robert and Clara Schumann was and remains the great romance in the history of music. It was a love born of shared artistic ideals, genuine affection, and deepest mutual respect. It surmounted daunting obstacles, leading to a happy and fruitful marriage that lasted until the end of the composer's life. And it expressed itself in music, a great outpouring of ardent, beautiful music. For Clara, Robert composed piano solos, songs, symphonies, and his celebrated piano concerto. In turn, Clara became Robert's devoted champion, performing his music everywhere she toured. But for all its tenderness, the couple's life together had a dark side also, a secret affliction that led to its tragic and untimely end. Hello, this is Gerard Schwarz for Musically Speaking. On this recording, we will examine together the life of Robert Schumann and two of his finest masterpieces, the Piano Concerto in A minor and the Symphony No. 3 in E-flat major, known as the Rhenish. The Piano Concerto dates from relatively early in his career and is intimately connected with the love of his life, Clara Wieck, his wife and, if the term was ever appropriate, his soulmate. The Symphony, on the other hand, is a late composition which is linked in an ironic fashion to his unhappy fate. Both works reveal Schumann as one of the foremost composers of the mid-19th century, a musician who combined the passionate expression of Romanticism with a classical concern for compositional form and craftsmanship. Robert Schumann was born in the small German city of Zwickau in 1810. Beethoven was in his prime, and interestingly, three great composers of the Romantic era, Chopin, Mendelssohn, and Liszt, were all born within a year of Schumann. Schumann came of age as the tide of Romanticism was cresting in Europe. Fantasy and originality were widely seen as cardinal virtues in the arts, and Schumann was deeply influenced by this attitude. His father was a writer, publisher, and bookseller, and Schumann's earliest influences were as much literary as musical. He read avidly from an early age, and throughout his life wrote poetry, essays, drama, and fiction. In fact, Schumann displayed considerable talent as a man of letters, and eventually became the most important writer on music of his day. He began learning to play the piano when he was 6, and at 12 was composing short works. By the time he reached late adolescence, Schumann was showing great talent as a pianist and composer. But a career in music seemed out of the question at this time. Schumann's father had died several years earlier, so in 1828 Schumann consented to his mother's wish that he attend the University of Leipzig to prepare for a career in law. Unfortunately, it was a course that in no way suited his temperament. Schumann proceeded to neglect his studies in favor of music and literature, spending hours improvising at the piano and writing flowery prose in the style of the once popular romantic novelist Jean-Paul Richter. He also continued to compose music, but now regretted his lack of formal training. Accordingly, he began private lessons in music theory and composition with a local teacher. A few months later, when he was just 18, he placed himself under the tutelage of a well-known piano instructor, Friedrich Wieck. This decision would prove momentous for Schumann, not so much because of Wieck's influence on his life, important though this was, but for meeting his teacher's daughter, Clara. Although she was just approaching her 9th birthday when Schumann met her, Clara Wieck was already a pianist of considerable skill. Even before she was born, her father had resolved to make her a musician at whom the world would marvel, and he began to instruct her in a very thorough way when she was just 5 years old. When she was 9, she made her first public appearance, playing in Leipzig's celebrated Gewandhaus Concert Hall. 2 years later, she performed a complete recital before an admiring audience. When she was 12, her father decided the time had come to display her abilities to a wider world, and he took her on a concert tour that led as far as Paris. By the time she reached her 16th birthday, Clara was known as one of Europe's great child prodigies. Chopin and Mendelssohn.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.